fantasy maps that really exist. Hey everyone, it's Alexa, and welcome back to another video. From the floating mountains of Pandora to the hallowed halls of Hogwarts, here are 12 real-life fantasy maps. Shangrila. That name usually conjures up images of a utopia hidden somewhere within the Himalayas. The fictional place was first described in the 1933 novel Lost Horizon and was said to be located in the Kunlun Mountains. It's one of the longest mountain chains found in Asia and has been linked to several myths involving the idyllic refuges of kings and goddesses. In addition to being the location of Shangrila, the Kunlun Mountains inspired a fictional city that's featured in Marvel's Iron Fist comics and TV series. Maybe there is a factual basis for the existence of sacred places in the region. Ancient Tibetan texts mention 7 such places that are hidden in the mountains. What do you think? El Dorado. The legend of El Dorado usually makes us think of an ancient city with unimaginable wealth, but over the ages, the name has also been linked to various kingdoms and empires. In one story, El Dorado refers to a man identified by the Spanish Empire as the mythical tribal chief of a native people in Colombia. He was said to cover himself in gold dust, which he washed off by entering a sacred lake. During the ceremony, huge piles of gold and emeralds were deposited in the lake by his subordinates. That location was identified as Lake Guatavita, which is found south of Bogota. Its existence was known since the 16th century when a Spanish expedition for gold led them into the region. According to some sources, this is how the legend of El Dorado originated. Forests of Asgard. If you saw Thor Ragnarok, you might recall scenes of Heimdall leading refugees to safety through a forest. Those locations aren't found on Asgard. They're found right here on Midgard, which is also known as Earth. Areas of Tamborine National Park in Queensland, Australia, were worthy enough to represent the forests and waterfalls of Asgard. Cedar Creek, in particular, is known for its rock pools and various cascades and provides one of the best walks in the park. The Hunger Games. The first installment of this film franchise premiered in 2012 and was a massive box office hit. Almost all of the production was filmed in North Carolina, but it was in the DuPont Forest where most of the outdoor scenes were filmed, including the arena and the outskirts of District 12. The waterfalls of Bridal Veil Falls and Triple Falls provided backdrops for various scenes, including Petra being chased down by Katniss. The 1992 version of The Last of the Mohicans also used the forest's waterfalls in several key scenes. The Region of Dorne. It's said that Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin was inspired by the Moorish architecture in Spain when he was creating House Martell and the region of Dorne. As it turned out, the show's producers thought along the same lines when scouting locations for the series' 5th season. The Water Gardens of Dorne are found in the Alcazar of Seville. It's a royal palace that was constructed on the site of a Moorish fortress. It serves as an official residence of Spain's royal family and is Europe's oldest royal palace still in use. In addition to providing locations for Game of Thrones, the Alcazar has made appearances in films including Kingdom of Heaven and Lawrence of Arabia. Home of the Jedi. Planet Octu lies deep within the unknown regions of the galaxy. A sacred island there is said to contain the first Jedi temple, and it's where Luke Skywalker went into self-exile. Well, all of that took place in a galaxy far, far away, but that sacred island is located a lot closer, in Ireland. And while the Jedi weren't involved, this island did serve as a monastery that was continuously occupied from the 6th to 8th centuries. It had been abandoned by the late 12th century. Not unlike Luke Skywalker, the monks wanted a place that was isolated and inaccessible. The remote monastery is famous for having hundreds of ancient steps and stone huts, which could be seen in Star Wars: The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. The island also has a reputation for harsh weather and rough waters. Those factors forced The Last Jedi crew to shut down production on the first day of filming. The Fairytale Castle. King Louis II of Bavaria was also known as Ludwig the Second. Along with having 2 names, he's known for having built 3 royal castles. The most famous one is Neuschwanstein, located in the Bavarian Alps, and it was a royal undertaking. Consider that the castle started construction in 1869, but it was still unfinished when the king died in 1886. Experts say it provides an example of castle romanticism, which was a popular architectural fashion at the time. With its towers, spires, and medieval appearance, this castle looks like an example of the quintessential Fairytale Castle as well. So it's no wonder that it served a major inspiration for Disney's Sleeping Beauty castle and is now recognized as an iconic symbol of the media giant. Canyon of the Crescent Moon. You might recall that name from the movie Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, released in 1989. In the franchise's third installment, Indy and his dad were chasing down the Holy Grail, which was stashed in an ancient temple in the desert. The entrance to that temple was provided by the ancient city of Petra, which existed a long time before the movies found it. Petra was the capital of the Nabatean kingdom. It dates back to 321 BC when it was carved into the rocks of the Wadi Musa Canyon in Jordan. Petra was once a major trading hub that connected routes leading from China and India to Egypt and Rome. After the Arabs conquered the city in 663, it was later abandoned and forgotten by the Western world. It wouldn't be rediscovered until the 19th century. That almost sounds like a real-life Indiana Jones adventure, doesn't it? Thanks to its exposure in the movie, the number of tourists that visit Petra annually exploded from several thousand to almost 1 million every year. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. According to a 2008 online survey, Harry Potter's alma mater ranked 36th among Scotland's best educational establishments. That's pretty magical, considering it's a fictional school. But for many fans, it's a real-life concern, and there are a couple of real-life locations in England that have represented Hogwarts on screen. Alnwick Castle dates to the 11th century and is the country's second largest inhabited castle. Windsor Castle is first. Durham Cathedral dates to the 7th century and is regarded as one of Europe's finest examples of Norman architecture. Both locations provided exterior and interior shots. Both locations also received a lot more attention after the Harry Potter films were released. FYI, even Muggles can find these places. Hobbiton. Where exactly is Middle-earth? We'll leave it to the Tolkien scholars to figure that one out. As far as the film versions of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit go, you can find Middle-earth in New Zealand. Mata Mata is a town and farming area located on the North Island. One of the farms served as the Hobbiton movie set for director Peter Jackson's films. The on-location sets were so seamlessly integrated into the environment that the New Zealand government allowed them to remain there as tourist attractions. Guided tours of the 14-acre site are conducted daily. Some of the highlights include 44 hobbit holes and a cafe that serves not only breakfast, but second breakfast as well. The Hallelujah Mountains. In the movie Avatar, Pandora is an Earth-like moon located in the Alpha Centauri star system. You probably remember the amazing visuals with the Na'vi banshees soaring by the floating Hallelujah Mountains. That alien location was inspired by a location in a province of China called Mount Huang or Huangshan. It's part of a mountain range that covers more than 150 square kilometers and was formed more than 100 million years ago. The area is a major tourist attraction that offers the chance to experience the Hallelujah Mountains without having to wear 3D glasses. Tatooine. Maybe when you first saw Star Wars Episode 4, you thought that Luke Skywalker's home planet of Tatooine was something created entirely by George Lucas, but that's not exactly true. The fictional Tatooine was inspired by the very real city of Tatooine in Tunisia. It's known for the below-ground cave dwellings that were constructed by the native Berber population. A lot of the local dwellings probably look familiar since many of them have been used for exterior shots throughout the film franchise. As you'd expect, the city became a star in its own right after the first Star Wars film was released in 1977. That'll do it for this episode, but if you can think of any more real-life lore maps, tell us in the comments below.